Welcome, everyone. I'm Marilyn Wilson from President of RE Technology and founding partner of Wave Group Consulting. And I know many of you on the call, so thank you so much for coming today. As we all know, AI is a very hot topic and a very confusing and scary one at that. So Liz and I were having a great conversation, and she was showing me and telling me about all the great work that they've done to vet many, many AI technologies, and now are launching many to support their own business as well as the needs of their subscribers. So I thought it would be great for her to share the kinds of things that she's doing. Did want to let you know too, Kevin Hawkins, who is my partner in crime, runs our communications division, is writing an article every Friday now on a variety of different topics about AI. So if anybody would like that, feel free to jump in, and and if you want to see it regularly, just sign up for our newsletter and you'll be getting those, because he's doing some really, not just specifically about real estate, some just general AI observations and things where it's going. So with that, I want to introduce Liz. For those that don't know her, she kind of stands alone here, but she's the chief of MLS and innovation for the Miami REALTORs in Miami, Florida. Again, many of you probably know that's one of our most aggressive and progressive real estate organizations in the country. They do great work on many, many fronts, AI being not with that. AI. And you may know that Liz was with NAR, ran the Ramco division for many times, so has a depth of technology and real estate understanding and technology, that has really served her well, I think, in this role. So with that, I want to turn it over to Liz and take it away. I will ask anybody that has questions, and we both welcome them. Feel free to throw those into the chat, and I'll be watching that, and I'll ask Liz as it makes sense, either during the presentation or toward the end. So with that, Liz, take it away.
Oh, thanks so much. And thank you for the nice introduction. Well, really excited to be here. And I'm sure everybody who is on this call has heard a lot about AI already. So I'm not going to pretend to start at a very low level or a very high level. I want to speak to everybody in the room. We're going to talk about some of the caveats of using AI, and then we're going to jump into the tools that we're using in Miami, and then just some other fun tools, and then some takeaways about what you can do, where you can learn more, and things like that. So without further ado, we will go ahead and move forward. So the CEO of Google said this in 2018. AI is one of the most important things humanity is working on and is more profound than electricity or fire. And I think in 2018, the general public, there's no way we could have fathomed this. But now that we have seen what's happened just in the last few months, I think that we can see what he was talking about and the real vision that Sundar had here. We are very much in the infancy of the day-to-day use, even though AI has been powering things that all of us have used for years and years. Anytime we've called into a phone system and that natural language processing was happening, that was artificial intelligence doing a lot of that, and machine learning. So while it's always been in the background, or certainly has been probably since the early 2000s, the general public has never been able to put their hands on it the way they have been able to today. So how did we get to where we are? So let's hop back a little bit. So this company, OpenAI, who is the company that makes ChatGPT, published research publicly that they were training this on this vast amount of data using basically the internet, anything electronically available. They were just feeding everything they could into this model. And they started really sharing about it in 2016. However, I will tell you that models like this were being worked on when I was in college, like in the mid-90s. They were terrible. The conversations that you would have with them wouldn't make any sense. It wasn't even like talking to a toddler. It was like talking to somebody who didn't speak or understand your language. So let's fast forward a little bit, right? So in 2019, research on GPT-2 was started to be made available to some research areas and institutions. And then in 2022, in January, some pieces of this were again made available to reduce the fabrication of facts and making sure that what came out was real, right? We've learned from engines, whether they were doing financial modeling, appraisals, et cetera, that some terrible things were starting to happen with some of those machine learning models, and OpenAI acknowledged that before it was opened up to the public and really wanted to make sure that this was going to take a fair and balanced approach. And then, the hallmark date, November 30th, 2022, while everybody's recovering from their Thanksgiving dinner, ChatGPT 3.5 was made available to the general public. And it grew to more users faster than anything else that has been made available on the internet by many orders of magnitude, faster than Facebook, faster than Instagram, faster than Twitter. And now here we are talking about it today, and everybody's talking about it in every industry. So let's step back. What is it? Artificial intelligence is a machine's ability to perform cognitive, meaning thinking functions that we usually associate with human minds. So we all search the internet today. We all use computers to do our jobs every single day, but the computers don't necessarily solve problems for us unless we tell them how to, right? If I put a bunch of data into Excel and tell it to do a financial forecast for me, it won't do that unless I actually build all of the pieces for it to do so. What AI can do is look back at that and actually start to formulate a budget and say, maybe you can make some changes here and there. How does machine learning differ? It's basically the same, but it's really more about the algorithms themselves and the algorithms detecting patterns and making those recommendations. So how can you put AI to work for you? So, this presentation is for MLSs today, but I have a very similar version I use for realtors and brokers. Realtors are using this for lead nurturing and generation, writing property descriptions, personalized property recommendations, right? We know that there's plugins already in all the major portals, marketing tools and content generation. And again, we're seeing this added to existing products we know our members are using today. Data-driven marketing strategies, making sure that, our messages are hitting home, we have higher open rates, and then virtual staging and enhancement. Now, this is by no far an exhaustive list, because there isn't an exhaustive list. There are new tools being created and added every single day. So is AI going to replace realtors? This is the question everyone asks. No. FSBOs haven't replaced realtors, right? We have seen the use of realtors actually go up. However, a realtor using AI will be able to outperform one that is not. And an MLS using AI, just like that, will be able to outperform it. They'll be able to put out better marketing information, better local area information. Their emails will have higher open rates. Their SEO will be better on their websites, and on and on and on. So the prediction that the BBC published, I think this is from McKinsey, AI could replace the equivalent of 300 million jobs. Now, we could do a whole economic deep dive into universal basic income and all of those types of things and what's going to happen. AI has basically been likened to the steam engine, right? Going from from horsepower to steam power. Orders and orders of magnitude of efficiencies have been created and will continue to be created. And once you apply Moore's law on top of that, we know what's happened with that, with computer processors getting smaller and faster, right? At every generation, that's going to continue to happen. Marilyn talked about Kevin's blog, and his blog this week was basically about AI is not green. And he's right? Because it uses more computer processing, just like we've been talking about cryptocurrency and blockchain using more computer processing. So these products aren't cheap, and the good ones cost money. However, in the long run, efficiencies will be found. Processing will get cheaper, right? Remember when we all had a whole pile of servers back in a room somewhere, and now everything lives on tiny little blades in the cloud? Listen, the efficiencies will come. You should still learn how to use this today because it is not going away, okay? The cat is out of the bag.
So this is not a fad, Liz, like people thought the internet was?
No,
Okay,
no. And yeah, you can still share listings on Facebook. So why should you use AI today? Well, it'll improve your content. You'll have faster generation and information and inspiration. I sit down, sometimes you just sit down and looking at that blank page or that blank email, you don't know where to start. Just use it, use ChatGPT, use the free version for writer's block, right? Say, give me 10 reasons a realtor would want to use artificial intelligence and approach it at an 8th grade level, right? And it'll help write that way, et cetera, and then pull it out and make it your own. So we'll talk a little bit about more of that, but really, a lot of us work from home or work in small offices or small MLSs where we don't have a lot of people to bounce things off of. Just having someone to bounce ideas off of. And the nice thing is if you don't like the first idea, you can tell it to try again and help refine it and refine it. It is unbelievable what you can get out of it if you try. So before we hop into this, is it safe, right? Is this going to take over? Is there a liability for the MLS or the association or for brokerages here? Well, sure, there's always liability. So we're already starting to see copyright challenges because who owns the AI generated content, right? So do you, as the person who said to the AI, show me salmon swimming upstream, do you own that picture? Do the artists who the information was scraped to make the pieces of that picture, does the company who did it make that? And the answer is, we don't really know. In some cases, the terms and conditions are really clear and it is newly created content that hasn't really existed before. In some cases, image generators, we all know Getty, and artists are coming out and coming after these generation companies and saying, hey, we own these. We clearly own the copyrights, right? Everyone here who has ever tried to borrow anything from Getty has gotten a cease and desist letter, right? We don't do that. We don't play. Well, Getty thinks that things were taken and I can't blame them, right? This is their entire business. Now, what will happen in the long run with this? I think that the courts are going to have to decide. But for right now, the government is very much stepping back. So all of the big tech companies made a deal with the White House about a week ago that they're going to do a good job. Now, the thing is that the big tech companies are the tip of the iceberg. Everybody and their brother is starting to build their own AI startups, just like they've been doing with prop tech or any other vertical. And so there's going to be bad actors here. It's on you to make sure you're working with good actors, just like you do in anywhere else in your business. You review those terms of service. You review their security policies. You review the fact if what you put in is being added to their large language model. All of those pieces are critical to you protecting the information that you are feeding in, protecting your members, and protecting the association and MLS.
Liz, question for you on that. I know many MLSs have used attorneys to look at data licensing agreements and things like that. Is it a different set of attorneys that are expert in this, or is it the same attorneys that we would normally work with? And is there any place to learn about what you should be looking for when you're reviewing these contracts?
So I'll tell you, so we have an in-house general counsel and we have outside counsel we work with for specific things. Our outside counsel puts out really great newsletters whenever there's something relevant. And so I think I've gotten in the last 6 months, 12 AI notice newsletters. She forwards everything to us. I am sure that everyone here who works with competent attorneys is getting that same kind of education. There's continuing education in everything we do and in every industry, and lawyers are just the same. Can you find an expert on artificial intelligence? Sure, but I'll tell you that the laws are changing and the regulations are changing so quickly. Anybody can call themselves an expert on anything. So whether they are or they are not, I don't know that it's worth seeking out somebody unless you are truly building AI from scratch, that you need to worry about building out those terms of service and making sure that you're being compliant with what you're putting out there.
It may be something we could publish together in terms of what to look for in the terms of service, because it is different than what people have looked for in other kinds of agreements. So it might be something we could talk about as a follow-up.
I think that's a great project. I think it's a great project and a value add for the industry. So copyright, number one, we talk about copyright in this industry every single day, right? Who here hasn't gotten a takedown letter from CoStar, right? Or anywhere else, or our members are getting cease and desist letters or demand letters for copyrights from photographers that they used 10 years ago. We can go on and on. Copyright's going to be an issue here, but it's going to have to do with fair use of images and text that comes out of these, and whether you can use them to sell things, whether you can use that to sell things, sell the products themselves, right? We've heard, hey, ChatGPT, can you write me a 7-page bedtime story? And people are just publishing that on the eKindle store. So are you able to do it like that? Or are you able to use it? So I'm using an image that I had created about the Miami boat show and using it to sell property. So I'm not selling the image, I'm just using it for other marketing. So again, we're going to see how that comes out. Plagiarism. The information that comes out of here, if content is taken from somebody else, it would be considered plagiarized. Now, will you get caught? I mean, if you're sending an email to your sphere, probably not. If you're publishing it to the internet and it's publicly available, yeah, you might be. There are great plagiarism checking tools. One of the products we're going to talk about later has that built into it. There are other tools online where you can have ChatGPT or whatever your flavor of generative content engine is, put it in and say, does this sound like it came from generative AI? And it'll score it pretty high. You can go in and edit it to the point where it won't score it quite as high. So it sounds a little bit more human and like you. So the other caveats, data privacy. Is what you are putting in going to become part of a large model? Is it going to be, maybe it won't be made available today, but maybe they're going to harvest it down the line. So you absolutely need to make sure that your terms of use protect you. How you're going to track that down if they're using it or not, that is a much bigger question that I don't have the answer or great advice on, but you definitely need to be aware that at least you are contractually protected and you're working with respected companies. And if you're not contractually protected, don't put protected information in. So we know a lot of these large language models have scraped all of the properties, right? There's lots of information, who they scraped, whether it was Zillow, Realtor.com, Redfin, who knows. But you can put in an address and it'll give you a property listing. Now, is that private data? Well, we could argue it was publicly available, but there's people who have put in whole medical records, people who have put in all of their financial information and said, give me a budget, give me a diagnosis. And do you want that out there? Maybe if it's a personal case, you do, because it's something that you want. But remember, you are fiduciaries and protectors of your MLS and your business and your members' information. So you need to be very, very careful with what you put out as part of this. Miguel, you asked a great question. Should we be using disclosures? So I think that you should. I think that that is where the policies will be going. I think that we're already doing that in some cases when we are virtually staging, or we've seen virtual renovations of properties. Even if they're not truly like AI virtual, but other virtual of new kitchens and things like that, those are listed as enhanced, right? We're all enhanced. I'm enhanced right now. The Zoom filters are amazing. My skin isn't this good. So if something is enhanced, don't you want to know, right? And don't the other people on the other side want to know? I think it's very fair to say enhancement was added to this photograph, right? How many lawns have we seen spray painted green? So I think that's okay. What you can't do is remove the water tower, because the water tower isn't going to look better. I can make the grass look better, but the water tower isn't going anywhere, right? It's just common sense here. Nope, went too fast. Okay, why do you need to do this? You need to protect yourself and your brand. Oh, I skipped a point there, accuracy. The information that comes out of AI generative engines is not 100%. And everyone says, well, do you just tell it everything you do, always say cite sources? It will cite sources that do not exist. It will make up sources. I wish this wasn't the case, but this is where we are today. I just heard a really interesting This American Life that was done. Microsoft got really early access to ChatGPT 4, and ChatGPT 4 is trained on the internet through 2022. But beyond that, it has a much higher level of cognition. I'd say it's probably about the thinking and reasoning of a sixth grader. Yes, it can pass the AP bio exam. Yes, it can pass the medical boards, and a sixth grader can't. But the actual like organizational stuff of being able to say, here's a group of items, can you stack them in a tower, right? ChatGPT 3.5 was very willy-nilly about it. ChatGPT 4 is thoughtful and does it in a way that you could actually build that tower. But that said, if you ask it, you know, where is there a Starbucks at SeaTac, it will just make something up at a place where there is no Starbucks. Maybe it thinks there will be one there in the future. Don't use it for directions. Don't use it for things like that unless you can specifically vet the information. And you have to do that, right? Because you have to do it to protect your members, yourself, your brand, and the MLS. We are a trusted source as the MLS, right? Anytime I partner with a product, I have to make sure that my members are protected when they use it, that their data is protected when they use it. And we partner with young companies all the time. We know they won't be all around forever, that we'll be able to back out of it and get our information back if it's not going to work out. So make sure that you are checking the data that you publish. You know, if you're saying, hey, can you just write a little bit about my neighborhood, and it says the trees are green and the streets are wide, you know, that's fine. But if it starts saying really specific information, you're going to want to make sure that it's accurate, because you don't want it to come back to haunt you.
Liz, there's a good question from Louis. He said, my greatest concern is about who creates the algorithms and how much prejudice is built into them. They've been demonstrated to show extreme prejudice in certain cases. Shouldn't that also be a concern for us? And figuring out, I don't know how you know what they've built or how they built it, but it's an important question.
So Louis, I talked a little bit about that in the beginning, and OpenAI really recognized that and published a paper on it in January of 2022 before they released this in November, and really went in and started tweaking the engines to make sure that that bias wasn't happening. And yes, we know bias is in the industry, bias is in the financial markets, bias is in the mortgage approval markets. I mean, so many terrible stories, appraisers, et cetera. You know, will this get better? I think so. I think if we can take some of the human bias out of it, we can hope that the computers are going to do better. But absolutely, we should be taking a magnifying glass to all things and make sure that that bias is not there. So where's regulatory today? Last week, the big tech companies, I talked about this, they signed an agreement from the White House. Most of us exclusively work here in the United States. We're likely to see more regulation come out of Europe for GDPR compliance, but the courts are going to take time. The guidance is going to take time. I think I just saw the UK is putting out additional guidance as well. I think for us, as long as the companies we are working with are here, you know, I don't think that the European guidance is going to be an issue for us. If you're building something that you think will be available globally, absolutely, you need to keep an eye on this. Okay, wow, that was a lot of nuts and bolts. Let's jump into the fun stuff. AI-powered real estate marketing is here to stay, right? Riz Media said this July of this year. It's not going anywhere. So let's just hop in on a couple ideas of how you can use ChatGPT today, right? You can go to OpenAI right now, get access to ChatGPT 3.5 for free. If you're just going to play with it and try to use it for a while, hop right in and do it, right? Use it, try to use it for your personal life. I find using tools in my personal life really translates to work, because it just keeps it in the back of my head of, hey, could I use it to do this? Use it to write content, right? Use it to write a letter to your kid's teacher. Use it to write your menu for next week for your family. You can use it to improve your own online presence. You could dump in your resume and have it spit back part of your LinkedIn profile. Now, again, are you adding that to the large language engine? Well, is LinkedIn publicly available, right? These are the trade-offs. It is Google on steroids, right? You know how you have to have really specific things that you ask Google for, even though it doesn't always think of the next thing? ChatGPT does it better, right? And then you can use it to coach you. So this is just what it looks like when you log in and set it up. ChatGPT tells you about what it's collecting from you. Please don't share any sensitive information in your conversations. So here's what I asked it. I said, create a LinkedIn post discussing how landscaping can increase a home's value. it just kept spitting all of this out. And when I wanted more, if you just click regenerate response, it'll create more. It'll keep giving me points. Maybe I'll only use 3 of them. Maybe I'll rewrite them. This is all really good information. I didn't, you know, it never even occurred to me that my landscaping makes my house quieter, right? Even no matter what, I can learn something here. So, you know, this talks about outdoor living space, increasing property value, energy efficiency. We're all very aware of that. So, and then, you know, striking a balance. I mean, this is a nice post. You could honestly publish this as is, and I guarantee you that you would get at least 50 pass-alongs. Absolutely. And you could, you know, add some images to this. It would be beautiful. So here you are. You can generate content. This took 15 seconds. 15 seconds. A lot of people are outsourcing this, right? Maybe you just have somebody who does editorial for you. I don't want to put people out of a job, but this is something where you can actually find some significant cost savings today for your company. All right, here's another one. I asked it to cite sources because this is really critical, right? This is expensive. How can I remediate and check for mold in a home? So obviously visual inspection, mold testing. It gave me a whole bunch of, there's 8 of them here. I just took some screenshots. But again, you would absolutely want to vet the content like this. Make sure that these links worked and that they were going to places that make sense. So here's another one. I'm a new realtor and I hate cold calling. What else can I do? These are actually really good ideas, right? Build an online presence, do some content marketing, have ChatGPT write informative blog posts. You have a lot that you can do without spending any money and without having to pick up the phone and cold call people or go door knocking, and use your online sphere. Like, this is all kind of what we would say, but it really wrote it really, really nicely. Good information for maybe a class for our members.
So there's a question for you that came up in a meeting I was doing yesterday about where you can trust ChatGPT, because with, you know, of course, a lot of people think real estate's it's not a good time to buy, it's not a good time to sell, et cetera, right? Can you use ChatGPT to get any kind of legitimate, reliable real estate data about real estate trends in a particular market or nationwide? Do you trust it for that yet?
So ChatGPT, no, but I'll tell you RPR, we all know that the data in RPR is solid because it comes from our own MLSs. And what RPR has done has put a ChatGPT engine on top of it. So it will compose, again, beautiful natural language processing about the market in whatever specific area you want. You could say, I would like, you know, write up 2-bedroom condos in 49098 over the last year. And, you know, then you can make it your own. You know, everything in the world, everything, I can say this is garbage in, garbage out, right? So ChatGPT is so big, but if you give it a smaller bit of data, which is what RPR does here, it can compose beautifully. And again, any one of us here could do that. This does it faster and maybe more efficiently, and maybe not all of us did well in our composition classes, and it will do it for us, right? And then again, make it your own. So here are some other tools that I've seen. We're going to talk a little bit more about YLOPO and virtual staging. A lot of us have had Recipe for a long time. That is an AI model, right? So we all know what Recipe does. It tags photos. It looks for compliance issues in photos, and they're continuing to grow all the things that Recipe is doing. That is all artificial intelligence that Nate and the rest of the company have built there on top of that. Does Recipe have any viable competitors at this time? I have talked to a couple people who are building something, but nothing that is actually writing back to the MLS at this point. I will keep you anonymous. Okay, so we're going to talk about so Chocolate Chip is one that we're using. Midjourney makes images. ChatSonic is a chat bot. Canva, a lot of our members use Canva every day. I know some of us use Canva. Canva, again, you can put a prompt into it and it will build a whole visual marketing campaign for print, for social, etc., with images, with beautiful fonts. You know, you can say, write a holiday notice for my brand with a classical theme to it. And it'll spit out beautiful content. I mean, it is really just amazing, right? And then we know Bard and Bing. Bard is Google's product. Bing is Microsoft's product. And more tools are being added to that at any time. Are some of these free? Some of these are free to start with, but the computing power of all of these, of anything using AI, is so high. Free is really not a great solution here. Need an AI to advance my slides. Okay, so why Lobo? So why Lobo has a company called, or a product called Raya. It uses AI algorithms to analyze online behavior and then identify potential leads. But Raya is the AI text-based conversation piece. You can use this as a widget on your website, or I should say your brokers can. This is all for real estate and real estate lead gen. We have a lot of members who are using this. I first started talking to these guys at Florida Realtors a couple of years ago. And what's nice about this is, while it's working on the website, it will also text the realtor. So the realtor can hop in and make it a human conversation whenever they want. But they can say, listen, I'm interested in 2-bedroom condos. I'm interested in anything under $400,000. I would like to live in Coral Gables. And it will work with them until it, and give them information. And then at some point it says, hey, listen, let's follow up with you. Let's set an appointment. It has a lot that it can do and schedule out for you. Very cool tool.
A question, Liz, are you aware of any MLSs that allow listings to be submitted using some sort of AI tool at this point?
I think yes. And I don't remember off the top of my head. I talked to a company, oh my gosh, I don't remember their name. I didn't move forward with them because I don't have an API update available in our MLS. I think it might have been List Assist. I think List Assist will do the updates directly in for listing input. We're going to talk about one in a minute that we're using, but it's more of a copy paste tool. So this is about RPR's tool. We talked a little bit about this. Again, really great metrics analysis. It will build social media content for you. There's no reason that you or your members cannot be using this today to put information out about your market. We know there's people streamlining property valuation. I mean, House Canary is doing this, Revaluate's doing this. They're using the larger models and kind of boiling it down. Their accuracy has been very, very good. So virtual staging, there are a lot of companies doing this. So here's a free one to try. You can go to this today, virtualstagingai.app. Everybody gets a bedroom for free. You can put in a room, it will turn it into a bedroom. He doesn't have a ton of styles. It does this in less than 45 seconds. So you can be like, well, yeah, Box Brownie does this. Yes, but it takes a couple days and it costs a little bit more. This is a kid from Harvard. His name is Michael Bonacina. He cold emailed me. He built all of this modeling himself from scratch, and he's still a student. Really cool stuff. And he's just scratching the surface. So what we're talking with him about is, listen, not everybody wants modern, right? We want a tropical theme, a beach theme. A lot of people love farmhouse, etc. So this is a great company that's doing that and doing it really, really efficiently. This is his pricing right now. As an MLS, you can certainly negotiate discounts. I can't disclose what we're doing, but I mean, the enterprise plans, even the standard plans, and a photo is what you put in. You can have it do 18 different revisions of a photo, and it's one photo. So this is another company. This is actually Planet RE. If you guys know Subrao, he's got a company that's doing that. So we're working with him with Chocolate Chip. His other company is Alo AI. Again, transformations. It can convert a room into anything, but you can also see it kind of goes a little too far, right? So this is an actual, in theory, conversion of this room. And like, I don't love how to the left of the fireplace, it just knocked out a wall there underneath the window, right? It went a little too far to pull in that rustic theme. I've done this where I've asked it to make it look more tropical. It's taken out whole walls and put in banana trees. Again, this is all very, very new. And we're seeing more and more, and it's getting better. So I'm not quite ready for this to launch prime time. Again, here we've seen more walls taken out, changes to the ceiling and stuff. This is a little too structural for my taste, but he's continuing to evolve the models. Someone asked if it's too dangerous to show a fire in a fireplace. Well, that's up to the realtor to know that if it works or if it doesn't. Though I will tell you, I've certainly seen this in my friends' homes who've had that. Okay, Nyla June. So this is a company just does instant property descriptions. It's a very TurboTax type of experience. So, it asks you questions, you tell it about it. This is not one where you put it in the address and it just spits it out. This is, I think, $20 a listing. And it goes through and it asks you about the outdoors. It asks you about the kitchen, all sorts of stuff. So, here's one I went through, built out. It'll ask, oh, is it in a certain area, a certain part of town? Is there a lake property? And here's, after all the questions, here's the property description, short version, long version. Obviously, you can edit it. This is a copy and paste. So it's not like List Assist where it just puts it in. This is a copy and paste process. And you can update it to whatever you like, but really specific information here based on what you put in. Again, garbage in, garbage out, but it really built it beautifully. They've got really nice natural language processing here again. This is better than anything I've seen come out of ChatGPT. And if you hate writing listing descriptions, I think it is worth $20. Miami members pay $16. Remind has had AI built into its back engine all the time. So it uses all sorts of marketing databases, human databases, banking databases, property databases, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, and use those. Has a machine learning algorithm that scores likeliness to sell. So, and here's this high sell score, low sell score, and you can use this for targeting areas and doing your postcard targeting. Chocolate chip AI. So I hope to have a video here. We ask all of our board members to do a 30-second stand-up on their favorite products. And they all pick whatever they want. We don't assign everything. So sometimes we have 5 videos on RPR. Got my first one on chocolate chip. We just launched this in July. It is enterprise AI for real estate. So this is using the ChatGPT-4 engine and is using the Microsoft DALL-E engine to create marketing content. Again, this is from Planet RE. It will make emails. Emails you could also use as blog posts or LinkedIn posts. It will do text to images, image transformation. It will build tweets for you. These are all compliant with whatever platform. It will do Instagram posts, Facebook, TikTok, Pinterest. He is growing this all the time. And our members love it. It's really
cool. I played with this one. It's really fun.
Yeah, he's got prompts built into it already. So listen, you want to start from not even 0. He is starting for you. And then you can set whether the tone is professional, friendly, neighborly. And again, it will just keep regenerating it. If you don't like it, have it just regenerate it. Short form, long form. And this is the output, right? When I asked it, what did I ask it here? Benefits of a vacation home. Actually, it even found my typo. I wanted to say a vacation home on a lake in a Minocqua that will drive real estate sales. So I want the post to drive sales. It figured out me not even writing it out correctly. This is what came out of it. Here's why you should do this. You should do this if you like fishing. These are the great things about this lake. Here are some other things that you could do there. It's a great investment. Contact a local realtor today. Again, you could use this and just build a whole marketing thing out of one prompt in here. So you want some images to go with this, right?
Well, Stephanie had a question for you. She said, if an agent generates public remarks using AI that an MLS copyrights, is it even copyrightable at all?
public remarks using AI than an MLS copyright. So why is the MLS copywriting the remarks, the public remarks, right? The remarks belong to the broker.
Yeah, it would be the compilation that the MLS could
Right.
copyright.
Right. So then would that be copyrightable? I mean, again, this goes back to everybody suing all of the companies because a lot of the remarks are publicly available and being scraped. I don't know. I don't think that's a fight that I want to take on.
Yeah, let's get that one.
Yeah. So you want some images to go with this beautiful Lake Minocqua thing. So here I just asked for a vacation home in Door County. Now, again, what something looks like in Door County would look different elsewhere, right? There's different types of trees, different styles of homes. Maybe I don't like this one. I wanted something else, right? Okay, here's Ellison Bay, right? So this is a specific part of Door County where it's actually on the water. And here's one off the water. I asked for the mood to be fun, right? Kayaking in Ellison Bay, right? Here's the bluffs, here's a kayak. I mean, and that's what Lake Michigan looks like. So kayaking Devil's Lake looks a little bit different, right? We have the dells here, we've got the pine trees. I don't know why there's a big leaf, but again, if you don't like it, hit generate again. Here we go, snowmobiling in northern Wisconsin. I can tell you this is exactly what it looks like up there. So on and on and on. Then you can take these images and partner them with your Instagram content, with your email content, and all of a sudden you have enhanced your marketing. I mean, maybe you already had amazing images and amazing text, but a lot of our members don't. And if writer's block is the only thing that's holding someone back, that is not a thing to worry about today. Recipe AI, we talked about this a little bit. Accessibility, fair housing protections, improved usability. Listen, we're seeing all sorts of MLSs getting cease and desist letters and demand letters for fair housing, for ADA compliance. You know, this is one of those, if it goes to court, we can always say, hey, listen, we're trying. Is it perfect? No, but we're absolutely trying. That is also why we have gone ahead and partnered with Lundy using Finding Homes on Alexa. So you can ask Alexa, whether it's Alexa on your phone or the Alexa machine in your kitchen. You know, Alexa, please start finding homes. You can now find homes, anything in the Miami MLS.
Liz, another question came in from Suzanne. How have you enhanced your rules to address any of the kinds of AI performance you're delivering to your members?
So far we haven't, right? We definitely have educated and said, you know, you need to be aware of the content you're putting out. You're responsible for the content that you're putting out. These are the tools we recommend, but we can't stop anybody from using tools unless they're actually perpetrating fraud, right? So the members, the code of ethics still applies, right? You need to represent the homes properly. You need to, you know, show that you are being a fiduciary. All the same rules apply here. Right now, I think we're waiting to see if NAR comes out with something. We'll absolutely adopt that. But for right now, it's really about common sense. Has this been enhanced? Is it enhanced beyond what it should be reasonably, right? This is, at this point, we're considering most of what we're doing virtual staging. Otter AI, I know we've all seen an otter show up in a Zoom meeting and said why. So here's what I'll say. We have meetings all the time where we do not allow these to attend, right? And I'm there as the host, just throwing them out because I do not want things to be discoverable sometimes. Anything that is written down anywhere is discoverable. Do not write a text or an email unless you want it to be read in open court. I am not a lawyer. This is not legal advice. This is just common sense. So I do not want an Otter AI chat sitting in a meeting where I have any concern about privacy, right? And particularly in the climate that we have today around antitrust, even though none of us are trying to perpetrate it, we know we have board members who say things that they shouldn't sometimes. There are meetings where you should not have an AI note taker, period. Where you absolutely should have it disabled, whether it's in Zoom, whether it's Otter, whether it's one of the other 18 that have popped up in the last week. That said, there's lots of meetings where it totally makes sense, and I want everyone to, and I want that type of note taker there. Is it a great tool? It can be, but you need to be aware of where it's being used and what's being recorded. All right. Oh, why are we not moving? Okay, here we go. Oh, went too fast. All right. Well, Durable.co builds a website in 30 seconds using AI. Again, you just give it a prompt and it gives you all the HTML and it will build hosting and everything for you. This other product I'm going to show you here, Deep Brain, you give it a short, you can give it a longer prompt. I gave this a short prompt and it gave me a 1-minute video here. I could change the style. I can change the model. I can have a different person speak it. I can just change this guy's clothes. Anybody can go in and do a 1 minute for free and download it. I highly suggest that you play with it.
Ultimate lead generation, personalized property recommendations, optimize pricing strategies, enhance customer support, and improve decision making for real estate agents.
I just asked how realtors can use AI, and this is what it spit out.
Leads,
unbelievable.
And resources while increasing the chances of conversion. AI-powered systems leverage.
Now, again, you can see here it's a little wonky. I probably could have gone in and edited this as well. Nothing's perfect, but this is unbelievable. The website maker, we don't have to listen to
historical data and property.
The whole minute of him. But again, and if you get a copy of this presentation, this is embedded in it. The website maker is durable.co, durable.co.
AI can
Heyday, supplement your articles with past research. So, a lot of times I visit an article and I forget what I was reading. And, we all move through the internet so fast. We got 18 other things going on. Heyday just kind of helps you remember and helps you reconstruct your past searches. You can use it on your phone and on your computer. I thought this was really fun. So this was the winner of our pitch battle at Rock the Market last week. So Rock the Market is our big event of the year. We had 2,000 people there. I had 3 companies in my pitch battle: Milestones, Lundy, which is the Alexa assistant we just saw, and this Real Cheeky's AI assistant agent sidekick. So we've been partners with Real Cheeky for a few months now, but this agent sidekick is brand new. Basically, you upload an agreement and it takes the contract and it builds a to-do list. It does all of your reminders for you. It's conversational. It is wild how much that she has built into this. So it pulls out all of the contacts for the parties, assigns who they are, or you can assign them and update it. You can add people. It gives you all the calendar deadline dates that are in there. And it will start building calendar reminders for you as well. And then it'll continue to prompt you and say, hey, did you do this yet? And you can say, oh, no, not yet. And it'll remind you again. And she started talking about this maybe 3 months ago, and she's got it ready in production. So there are new tools. Go ahead.
You kind of see this as replacing a transaction management tool, or is it more of a project management? How would you describe it relative to what other people might be using today?
I know that there are checklist tools that will build reminders for you. I think it does that, but this does it pulling everything right out of the contract like this. I haven't seen anything that does it this specifically. So she built the original Real Cheeky is transaction coordination, and they have human intervention as part of that, as part of their service. This agent sidekick piece is totally new.
Got it.
So look, this is constantly changing. I'm going to share the link to it. I like a company called The Rundown. They send pretty much daily emails. This is 2 days of new AI tools, 2 days. And you'd be like, well, anybody can pay to get these. No, only the ones with the stars here are paid placement. Everything else is just stuff that they've seen or they've read about or has been submitted to them as, hey, this is interesting. There are literally at least 6 or 7 new tools every single day that this company publishes. So, it comes down to, can you stay on top of this? Well, yeah, but listen, it's all moving so fast. There's not always experts, right? So the best that you can do is educate yourself, right? Give people the guideposts of the caveats, right? Protect their information, protect the MLS, but the tools aren't going to go away. So we need to learn how to work with them, how our members can use them best, and how we can use them best to serve our members. You know, we should be using these today to build emails that we send out, to build Facebook posts that we're posting. You know, a lot of us put out market stats to help us build information about those, right? All of a sudden now you have an economist on staff, right? Who can start to build insights as you put those out to your members, as you do your monthly market stats. So keep yourself educated, keep reading about it. You know, it's the one newsletter. I probably read 2 newsletters every day, and that's one of them, because it's so new and it's constant. Again, read
That one again, Liz. I'll put it in here. What's it called?
it's on my next slide. Here we go. The rundown.ai. And listen, Marilyn and Kevin and the team are doing a really great job with the Wave Group blog. They're definitely staying on top of things. The rundown is really just AI focused, and there's always articles about whatever the current litigation is, right? The current advisories that are happening, all of that. And then the other one, I know everyone has a love-hate relationship, but I love Reddit. Reddit really democratizes things, and the AI tool tracker there is really good. People talk about whether they've used it. People talk about what they like about it, what they don't like about it. You know, I'm a fan, so I'm a Redditor. Can't help it. So embrace the new frontier. It's not going anywhere. So we may as well learn how to use it, and learn how to work with our members and advise our members. Continue to be the trusted partner to our members that the MLS has always been. And we're all going to take this journey into AI together. And that's it.
This is so much fun. We're getting great comments. I'm glad you guys are enjoying it as much as I am. It would be really fun to do another one of these where you looked at the way you're using AI to run the MLS itself. So these are great tools. I mean, it looks like some of them you're already using, right? But a lot of these are great ways to help our members and subscribers. But, you know, and what are you seeing in terms of, like you saw the one with the project management, the transaction coordination, right? Are we seeing market stats evolving this way? Are we seeing MLS systems evolving this way? Like wherever you're seeing like the latest and greatest of stuff coming out, RPR, I think we should probably have RPR on here and have them do a little demo of what they're doing, because that's great and people can get that for free, right?
Yeah.
But we'd love to continue having these conversations, because it is just literally moving at the speed of light, and it's so hard to keep up. And when we find folks like you that are really digging in, it's really fun to share that with everyone. If you're willing to do it, we're willing to host you.
So today, so I'll tell you today, I do use it to generate content, right? I use it to write blog posts. I use it to update emails. I use it to write content for myself all the time. I use it, you know, when I'm doing a presentation like this, I'm like, okay, give me 5 ideas on this. I use it I work from home by myself. So I use it to brainstorm constantly, just ChatGPT, just to try to get the juices flowing. We use Zendesk as our ticketing tool. So we are evaluating AI engines that are already integrated into Zendesk. Zendesk already has an AI engine built into it that transcribes all of our phone calls into our call centers. And it also, so I can use, it's searchable. So I can go back, and if I know I'm having a problematic issue on, I don't know, lockboxes, right? I can search it for lockboxes and see how many phone calls I've gotten on those topics. So we are using it already every day. It really depends on what tools you're using to fuel your MLS, right? Not everybody is using a Zendesk. Ramco doesn't have anything built into it. We're a Ramco shop. I wish it did. But, you know, again, these are tools that you can use for all sorts of things and continue to add, but you need to be aware of what your members are using. And, you know, I think that we can work together to make this successful.
They want us to do more of these, Liz. So if you're willing, I'll be calling on you again. And if you see other companies doing interesting things you think that the MLS audience would really appreciate, you know, send them our way, and we'll just keep this rolling, because no one person can keep up with this stuff, as you say, as you saw. It's just too much. It's happening in too many different directions. And so if we can somehow aggregate some of that and make it a little easier for all of us to figure out what's going on, we're happy to be that group.
Yeah, I'd love a place where we can have a democratized conversation. Again, that's why I like Reddit, right? Because I mean, sure, there's people selling stuff there, but the comments aren't curated. So people can say, I loved it, I hate it, you know, these guys aren't great. Like places for us to do that as a real estate approach, I think would be great. Maybe I'll start my own Reddit, AI for real estate.
Yeah, there you go. And if there's anybody on the call that's got something that they've seen that they think is, you guys have been sharing great links, which is awesome. But if there's some other MLS on the call that's doing something that they think is really cool and they want to share it with the group, just, hit me up, Marilyn at Wave Marilyn at retechnology.com. And again, we got to work together on this because there's just so much happening. No one person can keep it all in their head or even keep track of it. So again, if we can help, let us know. We're happy to share. And Liz, if you see other things too, let us know.
100%. And yeah, thank you for the opportunity today. And if you see me around, I'll be at CMLS. Happy to talk with anybody about any of these as well.
Awesome. Great. And yeah, so thank you again. We really appreciate your time today, Liz, and everybody else's. Yeah, and go if you want to see our blog, just go to wavegroup.com/newsletter and you can register. And Kevin is doing a great job of publishing every week, and we may put them all into a little easy, just digest, download kind of thing down the road too. Just keep it easy for everybody. So again, thank you so much. And yeah, we'll be seeing all of you soon. Hopefully at RESO, at CMLS, NAR. Have a great afternoon, everyone.
Thank you.